Hi there, folks. You're listening to It Came From the Radio. You know, this is Dr. Feldy, and I am blessed and thankful to be here with Mark Stewart Iverson, who produced a wonderful, wonderful, just blessed movie called For Profit. I just watched it. I actually cried a few times. I really did. I found it very beautiful. I have not cried at any movie, I don't even know. I don't know. It's been a while. I think this is the most I've cried or gotten emotional with any movie, about my own personal reasons for that. So anyway, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate being here. Thank you for your kind words as well. That really means a lot.
Only the truth. So for our listeners who did not watch this movie, could you just tell us what it's all about?
Absolutely. Yeah. So for profit, profit like Moses, profit with a PH, for profit. It's a play on words, and it's a lot of comedy and a lot of faith in this movie. It's a updated, state of the art, modern day It's a Wonderful Life in a basic sense. You have a man tasked by an angel to save his hometown. And he also has this demon that's become latched on him as well. So it becomes angel versus demon. Is he going to find his faith? Is he going to succeed? Is he going to listen to the angels and not the demons? And you follow him through the story. And the town is corrupt, the town is crumbling. He has marital problems, business problems, all this kind of stuff. And but in a basic sense, it's a modern day It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay. Or like angels versus demons. That's a simple way to put it too. If you haven't seen It's a Wonderful Life, maybe you're younger than me or younger than us. So first question now, number one, groceries bills are sky high. In my world, commercials pay the bills. I'm a doctor, but I'm also a commercial producer. I'm also an indie movie producer. And movies generally, sometimes they pop off and make some money, but they generally pay very little. So two questions. Are you shooting movies for the money? Yeah, I'd say you can't be at this time. And what's your motivation for shooting and producing this movie for profit?
Well, I felt called to make this movie. I felt called to be a filmmaker. I've been making movies for about 20 years, and I've for the last 10 years I've been really, really striving to make a feature film. In the last 4 years, I made this one, and I felt called to tell this story in so many ways. When it comes to putting some of your own money into a feature film, you're right. That's a big risk, especially nowadays. Things are tough, and yet when it comes to being a director, when you want to be a feature film director, most of the time you have to put your money where your mouth is, and you not only have to do that because nobody else will give you money, but also really it comes down to creative control. So when you have the creative control for your first movie, like this is my directorial debut, and because I have creative control with this, I've been able to find my voice. And if I succeed, if I fail, it'll be within my voice as a storyteller. And whether you're Christopher Nolan, Spike Lee, Kevin Smith, whoever it is, a lot of these filmmakers, I just took their notes and said, hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to start out, put your money where your mouth is, get creative control, and find your voice so you can get out there and put your stamp on something so that you can continue to make more movies. But when it comes to also in the business sense, I certainly, I come from comedy. I did about 10, 15 years of comedy, just straight comedy. And then I started to make more spiritual stuff, more faith oriented content. And because of that, I realized there's a genre to this. A lot of first time filmmakers, they'll make a horror movie, or they'll make a low budget kind of psychological thriller, or something that has a genre element to it for the sellability of it. Well, I was like, yeah, I can make a faith movie. And I think within that genre, there's a lot of good filmmaking that is lacking. So we really want to
Right.
elevate that genre. And so I really felt like I could bring a filmmaker touch to the faith world and bring some comedy, bring some lightheartedness.
Right.
And like you said, yeah, touch the heart as well. And maybe shed some tears a little bit here and there.
Well, this is very interesting to me. I've been speaking a lot this week about maybe a possible fight of good versus evil. I'll come back to that in a second, but let's get into the movie For Profit. Now, there's a demon in the movie, and he appears to suffer many times that Archangel Raphael has a victory. So every time Archangel Raphael helps the human world, she came here from like outer space, and there's an actual demon. It's a man holding a cameraman, which I'm wondering why you choose the demon to be portrayed as a man holding a camera, following this man around, just giving him evil thoughts. Now, I guess why would that be the depiction of him, number one? And number two, do you believe that good can destroy evil? 'Cause that's what we saw on in your movie. It seemed to be, right?
Yeah. Well, first question, yeah. So the cameraman, the demon, yeah. So you know, the idea originally was I had this idea of a guy always being followed by this cameraman that he could only see. It was a hallucination. So I had that idea separately for a long time. And then when I came up with the idea of a man tasked by an angel, I put it together with that and realized, oh, what if this cameraman was a demon? And suddenly I
Mm.
realized the theme there, which is, you know, when looking at spirituality, when looking at the evil spirits, one of the things that evil loves to do is record your mistakes,
Oh.
remind you of all the bad things that you've done, the things that make you not a good person. Remember last week you said this and you did this and you thought that. I have all the recordings right here. I can throw you the memories anytime and show you how bad of a person you are. And those are the
Ooh,
negative thoughts that are coming into your brain, the demon, the egoic kind of thoughts. And I really, once I realized that, I was like, oh yes, that makes so much sense theologically and thematically. And it was a cool, fun thing for the actor to do as well, just like always up in somebody's face with a little camcorder,
oh,
annoying
yeah.
them, stuff like that. So, and to your second question, yeah, I do. You know, darkness is the absence of light. That is the truth. Darkness is not a thing in and of itself. It is the absence of
Mm,
light. And once you light a fire, once you light that up, the illumination will block out the darkness. And I truly do believe that. And I believe not only in the spirit behind that and the idea of that in it conceptually, but within my own life, I really try to every day put forth light as much as possible and push out that darkness and try to make
mm.
sure and be the best I can and do the best I can and follow that light every day.
Right. I definitely feel that in my own life. Certain times I've taken the initiative to do something good or to maybe even have a conversation that's all positive and good and productive. And I'll feel like whatever demons or darkness were in me kind of just step away. So
Yeah.
now back to a different part. Now, the main character, Damon, due to speaking truth in the words of the archangel Raphael, he almost loses his business. His wife, he has a juice business, which is like a raw food juice business, which
Yeah.
actually I think does correlate with life because
Hmm.
life, I think, is the antithesis, the opposite of darkness and demon, because life
Mm.
is the opposite of chaos. Chaos is destruction. Now, he almost
Sure.
loses everything and then seems to be losing it all. He has a miracle saving the town from the mayor's corruption. Now, do you think people need to nearly lose it all to finally surrender and be open to God? Do we need to go to that level of hell?
Well, I don't know about need, but I mean, I guess I can only speak from my personal understanding in my
Of
personal life.
course.
I I went to the dark places in order to understand the light. You know, I was put through the ringer. I had a lot of issues in my life when spiritually, physically,
Hmm.
mentally. I've dealt with some health issues, and in doing all that and battling those demons, I started to really understand the importance of the angels and the importance of
Hmm.
light and the importance of goodness and the importance of spirit and faith. And I don't know if you need to go through hell to get to heaven, but I certainly think that the higher power that is really wants us to understand the totality of life. And if you are just on easy street all the time, you don't understand the struggle. You don't, it's hard to be humble. It's hard to understand, have empathy for other people when they're going through things. So the more that you go through the muck, the more that you have empathy for others, the more that you have empathy for yourself, the more that you understand the importance of faith in any kind of sense, whether it's for God or even just in yourself or in your family and your friends.
Hmm.
The faith in humanity is such a difficult thing to keep going with. Every day people are doing bad things and saying bad things, and it's hard to keep up the faith in humanity. So the more and more that we struggle and succeed and get through the problems, the more we can empathize with other people.
That's definitely true. I'll give you a little micro example from my office. When I
Yeah.
give a man a rectal or prostate exam, he's like, "No, I don't want to go through the muck. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it." And there's fear, and maybe there's even a little chaos. I've even had a man run around the room with my fingers up inside. I mean, that was a whole chaos. But afterwards, after we get through it and we got a clean bill of health, oh, woo, hallelujah. God, and if they didn't have that suffering and that fear, they wouldn't be like, "Oh, I don't deserve that ice cream cone." A lot of them get ice cream cones and they celebrate, but we wouldn't have the celebration if we didn't have the fear and the chaos of the prostate exam. Now, moving on to another question. All right, now this is a
I
personal
love it.
question, but it does pertain to your film. Otherwise, I wouldn't ask you. I didn't want to waste your time. An excellent film. We got a special man here for sure. Now, in November 24th. Long story short, I went to Florida, alright? I got a free trip to Florida. Calm down, I didn't wanna go. I said no 10 times, blah, blah, blah. I got there, I felt like I was in hell. I had an IV injection kinda pushed on me. I did not want it. It was not a VAC.
Mm.
It was one of these things that NFL players and celebrities get. They get these IV injections. I said, "No, I don't wanna get it." And some there I blurted out. I said, "Will I have insomnia? Will I not be able to sleep?" Well, that's what happened. I had this injection, my heart was racing and palpitating to the point of beating out of my chest. The sheets were popping up and down my chest for a couple of days. My
Oh,
heart was
wow.
racing for about about a month, but I didn't sleep more than 30 minutes for about 15 days. I thought I was gonna
Oh,
die. I
wow.
had to go to the ER. I also got influenza from this place. Anyway, I thought I was gonna die. All right. I'm on
Yeah.
this couch right here, right here. You see right behind me. My heart's racing like I'm on illegal drugs. I was not on illegal drugs. I had a fever and it felt like that fever was getting to like 104. I just felt like, oh my God, I'm in a dangerous position. So I had an FBI agent call me. I had an owner of a wellness center call me. I had all these people call me. About 6 people called me. I barely even knew them, and they started talking about the fight between good and evil and angels versus demons. And one woman said, "Pray to. Have you ever prayed to God?" Now I've prayed a little bit. I don't ask for much, but I don't know if I've ever said God, but I did. Long story short, I prayed to God right on this couch and I said, "I promise you." I had a whole conversation for several minutes, but to paraphrase, I said, I I need help. If I'm worthy of getting the help, or if that's the path that I'm willing to take, if you help me, I will never doubt the presence of God again. If you help me, uh, if I deserve it. And guess what? I would say within 30 seconds, heart rate came down, manageable point.
Wow.
The fever broke. The fever just it went down immediately within seconds. Uh, I felt things. It felt like beings were moving through my stomach. I actually felt things moving around all over my body. But here's the kicker, the craziest thing that's never happened. This is my question to you. On
Yeah.
this couch, I'm sweating. I get pictures of my dog texted me, who's like my angel, sent to me from a photographer from a year ago, just randomly. And I'm looking at these pictures and crying. Now, here's the last part. It felt like wind. If you go like this, picture like 5 to 10 hands going like this all
Yeah.
around my head. Wind. It was no windows were open, wind, and then I
Wow.
fell asleep without setting my alarm. I always set my alarm, and I was better, and I had all these good things happen to me, and then I was able to help about 4 or 5 other people. I took off the whole month of December, and I said, "You know what? I feel better. I'm gonna help other people." I drove to the Bronx. I helped other friends. I helped another friend who thought she was dying, texted me on my dad's birthday, "You gotta help me." I said, "Dad, you gotta hold on. I gotta help a friend." I helped her. She sent me a gift. She lived through the night. Blah, blah, blah. So what do
Wow.
you think of praying to God and then feeling winds? What's all that about? What in the
Oh,
world?
that's an incredible story. What a great testimony. Bless you. That is so what it's angel wings healing you. I
I
love
believe
that.
it.
I love
I
that.
believe it. What else could
You
it be?
know, I think the power of prayer. Look, the power of prayer has scientifically been proven. Like it doesn't even matter. Like we can get into the nuances if I believe
Sure.
this or you believe that. but the way our bodies work and the way belief works biologically, it is so much power. And if you really put your entire being into the hands of the highest power that is, that highest power will reach back to you and give you what you need when you need it in the moment. So many people have incredible stories like that. And I certainly have a lot of wonderful moments where I've touched God and felt his presence so much. Sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes you pray and that prayer isn't answered for years, months,
Never
days.
happened to me. I've had every prayer answered. I almost never ask though. That's what happens.
Well, there you go. You pick and choose the right times, and that's really
Oh,
good. And that's really good.
yeah.
But like you said, exactly like you said, the power of prayer is right now. It's right now. It's happening right now. And if you're praying right now, if you are honestly giving yourself up to a higher power right now, you will be
Right.
fulfilled right now, and that Holy Spirit will come into you right now. And what you're talking about, those quick healings, the power of the Spirit coming through you. I mean, that is so wonderful to hear. That is such a great testimony. And it's also one of those things where, belief, like if you really, really, truly believe something, if you believe something about yourself, about the world, about a higher power, or if you believe the bad things,
Right.
those beliefs manifest in your life. And if you
Mm,
believe that God is with you right now and healing you and helping you, then he is here with you right now, healing you and helping you, because the power, like I said, biologically, the power of belief, the placebo effect, they call it,
right.
the power of belief has so much evidence scientifically. And that's what I always say too, is like, I don't care what you believe, but if you have belief, you gotta keep it going, because that's what the angel voices are telling you. Back to my film, the angel
Right.
voices, listening to those angel voices. You did right there on that day. You listened to the angel voice, which was telling you, just give it up to God, pray to him. He's going to help you. Just believe in that. And then you did. And then look what happened.
I woke up feeling one of the best I've ever felt in my life after feeling
It's
like I was
incredible.
gonna die from November 24th to December 10th. No
Wow.
relief. Imagine your heart racing like you're on illegal drugs. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, we are over time. I just wanted to ask you, I'm gonna throw it back to you. Any final thoughts about the world or your film or anything you'd like to say?
Well, I just want to say you can watch my film right now on demand. It is on Amazon, that's the main one, but also across lots of platforms: Google,
Mhm.
iTunes, Apple, Vimeo, Vudu, cable and dish networks as well, the US, Canada, and the UK. But check it out on Amazon, rate it, review it, love it, rent it, own it, do all the things. Thank you so much.
I highly recommend this film. I feel like they should show this in schools. I just think that, I saw Scent of a Woman in school and, Pacino was great, no shade to Pacino, but
Yeah.
if we're gonna watch Scent of a Woman, why can't we watch For Profit? That's what
Yeah.
I have to say as a doctor, as Dr. Felden. I'd like to see this maybe in different businesses because maybe we could treat each other better in
Oh,
businesses and
yeah.
families. I highly recommend this film. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. So now back to the studio. Mark Torres, thanks so much.